I'm Tommy Humphries for Kitco in Cambridge House at the California Resource Investment Conference in beautiful Indian Wells. I'm joined by my friend Bill Murphy. Bill, how are you doing?
Tommy, good to see you again, as always.
Bill was a Patriots wide receiver in a past life and a broker and a futures trader who made and lost more money than most people ever dream of. In 1999, he founded GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, when gold was under $300, and since then he's been one of the most outspoken advocates for a higher gold price. Bill, where's GATA and gold going from here?
Well, as Tommy said, when we founded GATA in 1999, we realized the price was being artificially suppressed, and we knew the supply-demand situation was much better than anybody else was talking about. And the gold's been up 12 years in a row, and it's going to keep on going because this gold cartel, which consists of the bullion banks, the U.S. government, the Fed, the Treasury, Exchange Stabilization Fund, other central banks like the Bank of England, all they can do is manage the retreat. So when you have all these setbacks and everyone's talking about what it really means, it doesn't mean anything except the bad guys, the gold cartel, are most of the time anyway, are just knocking down the price. The Chinese, Russians, and all the rest of the world steps in and says, thank you very much, and they buy it up, and we go make new highs again. So
do you think that the same things that you were speaking against 10 years ago are still in the market today? The same corruption and potential conspiracy?
It's a great question. I have never seen the gold cartel on a day-to-day basis be so obvious and so active as they are now. As I said, the readership and can watch it. 3 a.m. New York time, Plan A, they attack when the London gold card traders go to work. After the physical pricing is done for the day at the PM fix about 10 or 10:30, they attack then a lot. That's Plan B. And then once the COMEX is closed in the access market, when there's less trading, Plan C. If you notice the shares aren't as mysteriously crummy, it usually is a signal the next day they're going to attack the gold price. Gold and silver doing something like this, all of a sudden silver goes all of a sudden fading for no reason. All of a sudden, the next day or later in the day, gold gets hit. Watch. I encourage everyone just to watch this. And recently, I've never seen it so aggressive, and that tells me they're getting more desperate because it's so obvious. So I think it's going to lead imminently to something spectacular on the upside, especially silver, which I think is in play.
Have a breakout soon. So why don't you think the media pays any attention to this? And it's obviously something that you fight constantly.
It's unbelievable. The Chinese will talk about us, the Russians will talk about us, but there's no free press in America. GATA, just by the nature of what we do, is taking on the richest and most powerful people in the world. And a gold price going up is bad for business. It's like a mafia thing. You know, it's not good for the politicians because they say, oh, look at the price of gold doing this. What does it mean? Too much inflation, bad for the dollar, a crisis, fiscal houses not being in order. Gold's a barometer. And the powers to be in the banks, who makes money when gold goes up? Wall Street doesn't. And it's not, again, as I said earlier, it's not good for the politicians, so they suppress the price. It's been going on and on and on, and GATA has this all categorized. We're not just making this stuff up. If anybody goes to GATA.org, you can see we have this all documented for like 12, 13 years. It's all there.
So gold's up like sevenfold since, or sixfold since you started GATA. And I'm wondering at what point do you and do Chris Powell and the GATA sail off into the sunset? At what point is your work done?
Well, I'm having too much fun to sail off into the sunset. What else would I do?
Oh, fair enough.
But at Gold Rush 21, we've had 4 international conferences. This one was in August of 2005. Incredible conference, way up in the Yukon, Dawson City. And the price of gold was $436 then. And I was pounding the table that it would take $3,000 to $5,000 gold to clear the market. Now, that may be way too conservative now, but we're well on the way there. And I think silver is going to go above 100. And if this all happens, then I'll have made a lot of money again, and then I can just, maybe I can go interview you.
Right on, Bill. So tell me, what do you think is going to ignite the junior mining shares, the precious metal shares?
If there's anything I've been wrong on, it's been what these shares would do. If you'd have told me years ago that gold would be at 1,700 and silver at 33, and many of the shares would have stunk up the place, I would say this can't happen. But it has happened. And what I would like to say is that I think it's the most incredible investment opportunity ever. It'd be like Newton's law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. As bad as it's been for the last few years, it's going to be that good. And it's be like a mania, like internet mania. And
you think in the explorers and the developers, or in the producers?
It's going to be the producers first, and then the little companies. How many discoveries have there been in the past 10 years?
Not that many.
You know, Keith Barron, Aurelian is I think the big one, and even Ecuador is now giving them problems. Keith has been a member of my website for a long time. Great guy, by the way, and I couldn't be happier for him. But it's hard to find this stuff, and so when the psyche, whenever it changes, and I don't know, I wish I knew. It's a great question.
Do you think you might be the money that's going into Bullion, taking money away from?
I think the ETFs have heard some of the shares and so on, and of late, heck, the Dow and NASDAQ go up all the time. And when the gold cartel strikes, and they're in the share market too, the shares get pounded, and people say, what am I doing this for? And no one's making any money, and the money in the Dow goes up. The plunge protection team, exchange stable, the counterparty risk management group props up the stock market all the time. So people are discouraged, and action begets more negative action. People just say, I'm not going to do it anymore. Here's what I would say, though. The big money will be made by the momentum traders in the shares, not the traditional gold and silver investors, because they're going to quit. But when it starts to go, the momentum guys, the big hedge funds will jump in and go, boom, 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 boom. And that's why my line, what I write, is that you got to be in it to win it. And I'm not smart enough to time it. But when it happens, again...
Will you be selling?
That's my weakness. I'm good at buying pretty much, but selling I'm not too good at, because I always think it's going to go higher. But hopefully I've learned my lesson and at some point take some money off the table.
Good, good. So anyway, tell us, how can we stay up to date with what's going on at GATA and with you?
Well, my colleague Chris Powell was incredible work. He just spoke in a conference in Hong Kong right before George Clooney. He's being invited all over the place. He's going back to Hong Kong for another big banking conference. So you can sign up to hear what Chris has to say in his missive at GATA.org. And then I have a website, Le Metropole Cafe, LEMETROPOLECFE.com, which people can sign up for a 2-week free trial. If they like it, then they can pay up for a subscription.
Bill Murphy, thanks very much for being here. On behalf of Kitco and Cambridge House, I'm Tommy Humphries. Thanks for watching. More interviews coming.
Tommy's the man.